What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the TraderPrad stream. It's been a wonderful weekend. We're back to a Monday. It's a whole new month. Well, I guess the month basically started last Friday, December 1st. But yeah, whole new month. My month's off to a good start. 2 green days so far, back to back. Friday was a green day. Monday is a green day. Good opportunities on the market still. I decided to be very selective because I wasn't really prepared for today. I woke up late, also got to work late. For some reason, my Alexa, the one that I have in my bedroom, just does not want to go off in the morning when my alarms are set up. So that one just keeps messing up. It's not the first time this one's messed up. It's messed up many times before, but that's the problem that I will have to deal with later on, not something that I have to rant about on stream. But the point I was getting to, I wasn't prepared today, so I was very selective with the stocks I wanted to trade. I traded Pat, Mara, Uber, and did pretty decent today. Did pretty decent. I had fun on the market, green, and then I had to leave early, go get a haircut, go to the gym and whatnot, so left the market a little bit early today, and we're gonna use all of the stream to talk about my trades. We're gonna look for all the opportunities that the market's gonna present us with, such as GitLab, the stock that we love talking about. We've mentioned this stock so many times in my old workplace, where you guys probably know me from. And man, what a monster pop to the north side on GitLab, now in the $62 or something. Insane move on GitLab today on earnings. So we'll take a look at that. Some other stocks announcing earnings tomorrow tomorrow pre-market, such as NIO and so on. So we'll take a look at the earnings place. The cryptocurrency basket, cannot forget that one. Bitcoin now at 40,000. We said we can't wait to see Bitcoin at 4,200, and Bitcoin went exactly to our line that we threw down near 4,200. So we'll take a look at the cryptocurrency market, and then we'll wrap it up with a bunch of other stocks in between, and then we'll wrap it up with taking a look at the overall market, kind of see what the market's doing, and maybe we can predict where the market could possibly head towards. So far though, in this month, how the month has started, we are looking like it's a little bit of a downside move on the month. So we'll see if that's the story going forward, going into the so-called Santa Claus rally. So we'll see if that one ends up playing that way. But man, am I excited to talk about GitLab. So excited to talk about GitLab today. So why don't we start off with all my trades on the day, and then we can go right into GitLab, which is our first stock on the day on our watch list. My trades on the day today start off with, nope, that's not the right one. Turn that off. My trades on the day today, the first one is Pat. So Pat announced earnings on Friday. I think it was Friday or Thursday. Maybe it was Thursday night after hours, and Friday was the day we got to trade it as the day 1 trade for Pat. And today being the day 2 trade, the stock actually gapped down in pre-market, flushed downside pretty drastically. I thought 24 would hold. I was studying the tape pretty closely near 24. Was getting ready to actually even push some longs into the 24 area, but too much selling off the open kept me away from looking for that longs. Later on, the stock starts to bottom out and create somewhat of a V-shaped reversal, a red to green move. It only says that the stock is up only 0.1% when the screenshot was taken around 1:24 p.m. But the stock was actually down 3-4% at the time that I was trading it. So it was counter trade technically, but everything included, which is the earnings play, how the stock moved on earnings day itself, how it bottomed out into one of our levels near $23. We were able to look for a long, entered, took some more adds to that position, eventually closed the position at near the high of this whole overall move. So pretty happy to capture most of the meat of that move over here. Later on in the day, when the markets were having that crazy reversal that we're having, I figured, maybe we can take the 25 breakout. Maybe we can keep on risking this low right here near 2480, near 2470, and see if we can catch that move into Friday's high, which was around 2540, 2550, 2540 was Friday's high. That was the earnings day's high. So I figured maybe there's a move over here towards that area, and there was. I just didn't have time to take that whole move, and the stock eventually did go to 2540, 2550. But like I said, I had to do other things in the day, and I had to leave the workplace, so I wasn't able to capture that bigger move that I wanted. But man, imagine we just continued trading the stock throughout the day, just kept smashing it. Would have been up much more on it. Pretty so far though, pretty happy with how we executed on Pat, and I'm excited to see what type of opportunities the stock gives us for tomorrow. This stock over here, Hawaiian Airlines, it's getting bought out by Alaskan Airlines, if I remember correctly. I'm guessing something to do with, wait, my screen's not even showing. What the hell, Prad? What the hell did my screen? Oh, there we go. We turned the screen on. In that case, let's just show you the old trade that we were talking about. Here you go. Pat. Bang. So Pat off the open was already down big time. We started off on the longs over here. Add, exit, caught the move right near the high of day for this whole move, and then later on near the break of 25, tried to take the break of 25, kept risking near this 2479 area, 2480, got stopped out, got back in, wasn't able to really stay for the whole move, where the stock actually ended up going into 2550, wasn't able to stay for the whole move, but I'm glad that I was right on the stock, and I'm waiting to see what type of opportunities this one can give us tomorrow. But the next stock over here, which is what it says current stock, HA Hawaiian Airlines, getting bought out by Alaskan Airlines. I think the stock probably came down big time during the whole fire situation that was happening on the islands over there. Probably came into risk where it had to sell itself, so it probably sold itself to Alaskan Airlines, and the stock obviously was at a much lower price, and is now getting sold at around $18 a share. So overnight the stock ends up going about 184-200% up on the day. So pretty monster bump on the day for the stock. So at first I was even hesitant to look for the longs, but the stock did manage to kind of bottom out into this $13 area and pop up and show me some buying into VWAP. So around VWAP, took some longs, was able to capture that move multiple times, and then I got stopped out, at which point I flipped short. I waited for the stock to get back to VWAP, show me a little bit of a weakness. The pattern showed up over here, so I flipped short, caught the move, tried to catch that move again back into VWAP, but at this time the stock kind of wanted to flip back into the being bullish area where it started being long again and wouldn't really flush down. So I put my stop, set it aside, and walked away from this trade. It did manage to stop me out, and eventually the stock started to trade higher. That's for Hawaiian Airlines. Also interested to see how the stock does tomorrow, but we won't bore you guys with it. It's something that I will have on my watch list. Actually, I don't think I have it on my watch list. I'm just gonna have to throw it in over here somewhere. I'm gonna put it right under Pat, that way I don't forget it, but we won't bore you guys with that one. Let me also quickly go over here and just type in HA to help myself out for tomorrow. Okay, the next stock is MARA, Mara, Coinbase, Riot. I mean, all cryptocurrency positions in general popped up pretty drastically to the north side because Bitcoin popped right into that 48,000 area. I guess you could say 48,400 was the high of that move, but 48,200, that was the level we were waiting to see if it would come into play after breaking out of this area. And actually, I want to draw a box now because I think we should have probably just drawn a box before, but it doesn't matter. We'll just do it now. Label out those boxes over here, kind of like this box. We have a box over here. Notice that incline of that anchored VWAP. Usually the trends die out when a VWAP starts to go sideways and flat lines. we're seeing this VWAP still getting dragged to the higher side, up and up. That means there's still a lot of buying going on, and we were talking about this going into this action over here on Bitcoin. So finally breaking out past this 38,000 area, getting to 40,000, getting past 40,000 all the way into 42,000, taking stuff like Bitcoin, Mara, and Riot into new levels. So I was waiting to see what type of opportunities these stocks would give me, and Mara right around this $14 area looked like a good spot to look for a long. We dump right into 14, and then we get bought right back up. I had some orders over here at 14, closer to 14. I think it was 14.06. Sadly, the low was 14.11 if I remember accurately, and it just gets bought right back up. So at that point, I had to move my orders higher, get ready to give that stock a little bit more wiggle room, not really get stopped out at 14, but get stopped out on the break of 14, and that's why I couldn't take as much size as I wanted, and I wasn't able to even take it for that bigger move. That little flush right into this area where that flush happened, so you see how the stock popped up, popped into this area, and then flushed right off that area. There's a seller over here, and that seller got front run. So I was waiting to see what the stock would do by popping into this area, and as soon as we pop into that area, we flushed to the downside, and I didn't like that action. So as soon as we flush, I just punch out of my trade completely, and then as soon as we flush, we just get bought right back up. And that was a little bit of a, oh, come on, Prad, you just got shook out, you just got baited on this trade. So it made me stay away from Mara after that one. But I did notice that buying come in, even after noticing buying come in, I kind of baited myself, I guess, and I didn't really listen to that buying come in, stayed away from the trade. Could have taken the breakout also of this area for that move to VWAP. Missed out the trade that I wanted, but at the end of the day, profitable trade for myself on MARA. Was able to keep it on that side, on the green side for myself. Last but not least, I know today very, very little trades for me to talk about. Very small amount of trades. Usually have like 15 tickers to talk about. Today only 4. Pretty strange. Last stock over here, Uber. This one was a keystroke. I was trying to throw an order out at $60.15, but instead I threw an order just out. I think I put the wrong number in, so the order just went out and I got filled. Technically, that order would have paid me easy 50-cent move to the north side, but since that was not where I wanted to be long, I punched out of that position. Later on, I build into a long, but here the problem is I'm adding into a flush, which is kind of stupid of me. I recognized it, so I punched out of the trade. That long is okay. I'm kind of buying into the hold of VWAP. That long kind of makes sense. We're also buying above $60, the hold of VWAP and so on. But then adding into a flush doesn't really make sense. So that one was a little bit of a mistake, and then I just closed my trade. My number one loser on the day, UBER. So those are my 4 trades. Like I said earlier, nice little green day for me to bag home, nice little green day for me to walk with, and start my December with 2 straight green days, and that's a good little start for December for us. Real quick, want to talk about something that happened to a trader that I follow on Twitter. A big trader, big trader, has been trading since 2013, has a lot of great content on Twitter. Sadly, he got caught in a little bit of a keystroke. And then what happens when liquidity doesn't show up if you're trading stocks that are a little bit thinner, right? This is why we always talk about looking for stocks that are in play, looking for stocks that have RVOL. That way you're able to take the position sizing that you want to and are able to use that liquidity to get in and get out without affecting the stock too much. You're getting fingerprinted by the market makers and then getting caught on the wrong side of the trade. So sadly over here, for a good follow on Twitter, I almost said good friend. He's not a friend of mine. I don't know him at all personally. I would love to know him though. But the short bear talks about how he lost today $108,000 sadly on a firm because of a single keystroke. Wanted to short an additional 5K for his swing short. Instead, punched his whole position of 60,000 shorts into this area. causing that liquidity gap to kind of take place where the stock popped up, and now the stock is kind of waiting to see, are they going to close their position, are they going to buy their position, what's going to happen. It comes back down, but not all the way back down enough. So this is where the market makers kind of know that we have this person trapped. Anyone who shorted here they have them trapped. So to kind of flush this guy out, they're just gonna manipulate the. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's kind of easy to do that when you fingerprint somebody just keystroking ridiculous amount of size short. You can just kind of fingerprint them and just kind of make them flush out of their position. And at the end of the day, they did flush out of their position at 330 and a big loss. Sadly, hurts to see good traders lose, but just wanted to use this as an example of always make sure the amount of size that you're putting in. Keystrokes are normal. They happen to everybody. I have tons of keystrokes all the time too. I pride myself on being a gamer and having the ability to know exactly what keys to press at what time, especially in stressful moments, because in a FPS game, in a first person shooter game where you're you have a ton of insane moments where you have to clutch up, as the kids call it, right? Kind of think of it as NFL or NBA, where you have to hit the game-winning shot. Kind of like the game-winning shot, you have to sometimes you end up in those positions and your heart rate goes up and you have to make the right decisions. You got to aim properly, you have to move properly, and you have to know exactly what buttons you're pressing and so on. So I pride myself on being a higher tier gamer, being able to know exactly what keys to press, and even then I make keystrokes sometimes. My way of combating keystrokes is when you make a keystroke, immediately punch out of it. I showed you an example today on where did I make that keystroke? Yeah, it was Uber. I showed you an example today on Uber where I make a keystroke and I immediately punch out of it. I didn't intend to go long at that price. I keystroke the order and I immediately punch out of that position. I lost maybe 5-6 cents per share, which is not a big deal, right? It could have been bigger and I could have actually made money, as you guys saw how that trade played out, but that trade could have been instead of 5-6 cents loser, $1 per share, $5 per share loser. So you got to be very careful. Always double check. Sometimes double checking will make you be a little bit slower and miss out the trade, but this time double checking and being slower will help you be a little bit faster the next time, a little bit faster the next time, a little bit faster the next time. One quick tip that I also will throw out there for people is go use websites like typing.com. Typing.com. Let me turn off the dark reader for you guys. So go use typing.com. You can type for free. Please don't show my email anywhere. Thank you. So yeah, you can type for free. You can see how I have my skill builder going on over here. I try to go in and do all these exercises sometimes. So go in there, do those exercises, get familiar with your keyboard. They even have a specific one for a numpad. If you're not good with using the number pad and always have to look at your keyboard and tick, kind of one by one click the numbers on your numpad or so on, they have a numpad exercise where you can go ahead and get better with using your numpad. So all those exercises kind of help you not make those keystrokes and just get 1% better every single day. So a little bit of a tip over there on the keystroke end. Now coming back to the big watch list that we have, but before we do that, what do you guys think about this new fade that we got going, huh? New fade, nice little new fade. Nice little new fade. We got it from, what is it? Great Clips by, what's the location name, dude? I guess this is called the Brampton location. Yeah, Great Clips by Brampton, because I can't go to Halim no more. Halim's too far. It's not bad, right? She did an okay job. The black hair is back. The black hair is back for all you black hair fans. Everyone that hated the blonde Pride. The black hair is back, and everyone who hated the the black hair Prad, I'm sorry, but the blonde is all out, ladies and gentlemen. We're done with that. Here we go. Let's get started. You guys know how hyped up I was talking about the first stock on the board over here, which is GitLab. Ladies and gentlemen, I love GitLab. How many times have you guys heard me say GitLab? Today itself, but not today. Before today, you've probably heard me say it a million times on the Trader TV live show. So right there at that $38.24, that's my average price on the stock on the Trader TV live days. I actually traded the stock on IPO and a bunch of days after IPO, and I was so hyped up for this position every single day that it kept doing this. Obviously COVID and a bunch of other reasons bringing the stock right back to the downside. I'll be honest, I didn't even know the stock was trading in the $50, $40 areas because I haven't been keeping a track on it. I haven't been watching it. I haven't been tracking it. All of a sudden today, I got a message from Young Wayner. Why you trapping so hard? Young Wayner comes out and messages me, Prad, are you still holding GitLab? GitLab is now in $63. I go, shut up. Why are they at 63? Did they have earnings today? And the answer is yes. GitLab actually making money. And it's making me money too, baby. Let's go. So GitLab actually making money now. They're making 9 cents per share instead of losing about 9 cents per share. Almost 1,000% reversal or something like that over here. As you guys can see, 12,000, 1.2 thousand. 1,270.5% change on surprise over there. Revenue coming in at a nice little 5% beat. Also, I'm very interested to see what GitLab guidance is coming in at, and for that we're gonna bring our good friend Benzinga. So GitLab Q3 EPS 09 estimate was lose 1 cent. Oh, that's not the same number we see over here. Oh no, okay, yeah, that's not 8 cents. Okay, yeah, it is 1 cent. Okay, that makes sense. Where is this again? And okay, that number looks good. Sees Q4 EPS between 8 to 9 cents versus estimates of losing 1 penny. So again, great beat on estimate over there for Q4. Revenue coming in much higher than estimates. The range is 157 to 158 compared to 150. So big beat over there. And then adjusted EPS is also coming in much higher than what they're expecting. They were expecting to lose 6 cents, but they're answering with the range of 12 to 13 cents, and revenue coming in at flat 573 to 574, estimate 558. So guidance are obviously beautiful over here. Let's see if anything else has been reported by this company, by their CEO or something. Full year 2024 anticipated between 12 and 30. Yeah, we read that already. We delivered a strong quarter, which was driven by continued adaptation of our DevSecOps platform, said by Sid Brundage. Sid Brundage. I'm screwing up this guy's name. He's got to be Indian. Sid. Oh, he's not. He's not Indian. I thought he was Indian. I guess with the last name kind of gave it up that he wasn't Indian. What is he? He's got to be like Norwegian or something. All right. I mean, let's go, dude. I've been raving about GitLab for so long. The other competitor for GitLab is actually GitHub, which is what, GIT? Oh no, GitHub is bought out by Microsoft. Microsoft actually owns GitHub. I don't think they're actually a public stock. Were they ever a public stock? I don't think. Maybe they were. I don't remember. They were. GTLB. Okay. Oh, no, not GitLab. GitHub. God damn it. I don't think they were. They're owned by Microsoft now, though. Yeah, parent company, Microsoft. I don't remember. I don't think they were ever public. It doesn't matter. Anyways, a big competitor to GitHub is GitLab. They are a direct competitor to GitHub. And the GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft. Eventually, I can see GitLab getting bought out by like Google, Amazon, or any other big company out there who wants to own software and technology and want to basically sneak in on all the repositories and all the coding data and so on in the back door. I know Microsoft's doing it. Okay, Microsoft, don't tell me that you're not looking at all the code in the background and stealing ideas for your own company. Don't tell me you're not doing that. I know Microsoft's doing that. But anyways, GitLab, very, very excited to see what the stock's future is. The stock currently popping into apparently $62 in the after hours. Yep, monster move right into 62, 63. But I'm expecting even bigger move than that. All the way right back into this peak high of, no, that's not the peak high. This peak high of $70 to come into play. I mean, that only makes sense. Let's go back right into the $70 high for this stock. Currently stalling out at 62, which is right around this area. It's at $63 actually. So right around this area though, you see how many times this stock has rejected right around $60 and $62. So it looks like these areas could come back into play maybe. That 62, we could look for a long on a dip buy into 62 if it does show up. If that doesn't hold, then we could just wait near whatever this is, 58.50-ish or so. But in my opinion, I think the stock just opens up into 70. And if it's not opening up into 70, then you might want to be interested for that move into 70 on the stock. So I'm putting resistance 70. Support will be right around $62 for me. And if we go back to the 5-minute chart, you can also see the earnings VWAP is right around $61. We can wait to see what happens at 60 and a bunch of levels to the downside over here. Honestly, in my opinion, I think the stock just opens up near 70 and the only trade opportunity you'll get is a short to the downside. If we can kind of maybe zoom back out over here to previous earnings day. Kind of like this, see? Pops into big ranges to the north side and the only trade you get on it is a short. And this is something that I've seen a lot on GitLab, sadly, where it pops up and you can't really do dick all afterwards if you're looking for the long. So there you go. Pops up and then just sells off. Kind of expecting a lot similar like this move over here. And especially if this pattern comes out where the stock is opening lower than today's high, which was around $63 in the after hours. If it opens up below $63, pops into 63 and then fails 63, that is your short right there. But if the stock is able to reclaim 63, get above 63, and we're looking for a move into 65, then I think the stock has a move into $70. This also is, I think, their first time they're actually made money, and they're predicting to continue making money. So that's a big change. See, lost 28 cents, lost 31 cents, lost 17 cents, lost 40 cents, lost 32 cents, lost 25 cents, lost 34 cents, lost 32 cents, make 9 cents. That's a monster change over there on the financials for GitLab. So in my opinion, I think we're beelining straight to $70 on this position, and mark my words for that trade. The next one up on board, ladies and gentlemen, is actually a stock that, where is it? It's actually a stock that announces earnings tomorrow pre-market along with SJM. So we can't really, I mean, we can. I will look at the stocks, but there's no real levels that I'm going to be too confident out of because the stock's most likely going to pop up or down and make new levels for us to trade off of, and I'm going to remap them at that moment. But for now, just to keep your eyes and keep your watch list nice and fresh, we got NIO and Smuckers, JM Smuckers, Jam Company, SJM. We also have AutoZone, but AutoZone's like what, $4,000? Like, are you kidding me? It's $2,000. Like, are you kidding me? I'm not trading this position. So we're gonna move away from this one, but NIO, we're gonna take a look at NIO real quick. Something to point out about NIO: the $7 area has been holding pretty solidly, but if the report comes out negative, Does this still hold? That's the question for me on NIO. If 7 doesn't hold, then you got more downside where we can short on. And 7 also had a bunch of size on the bid today. I think it had a good amount of size that I was getting ready to take the breakdown short off the 7, but 7 actually ended up holding. The low of the day was 703, and we made a nice little 30-cent pop up to the north side. I could have gone long, but I was just waiting for the $7 break, which never ended up coming for me. So tomorrow, I guess today is a little bit of an indication. You know, this monster reversal going back up to the north side, holding that $7 area, could be a little bit of an indication that somebody knows something on NIO, hence they are already positioning themselves for that move to the north side. Quick glance over here, according to last week's performance, looks like something around $7.50. So if the stock does end up moving higher above $7.50 right into $8, there could be a trade above 8, getting above 8 and holding 8. That's bullish. Trade into 8, getting into 8, failing to get above 8 and getting back down, that's a short. And then if we're near 7, holding 7, that's a long. Failing to hold 7 and getting below 7, that's a beautiful short. You can look to trade off of 750, but in my opinion, 750 is that inflection point where you kind of don't really want to be making too many decisions. You can just kind of get trapped over there. You want to just wait for the ranges, higher end and the lower end, which is $7 and $8. Delete. SJM. Oh wow, SJM has beautiful levels too. I like that. So SJM making some sort of a beautiful bottom on 107, and we have a little bit of a top right. I mean, it's more recent top going into 114, but look at that bigger level into 115, 116. So all the way into 116.50, really struggled at 116.50 to 117, struggled at 115, struggled at 114. So you kind of have a bunch of levels to the upside where the stock could find trouble into. We also have the 50 period move exponential moving average on the daily chart, which is right around 116. So 116.50, 116.23. All of this looks like a lot of struggle area on this position, honestly. So you kind of want to be careful to see what happens if the stock does push into those prices. If we are able to trade higher than 117 at the end of the day on positive earnings report, that is a very bullish indication. I think the stock can use that as a catalyst to really start climbing higher on a swing term basis. As for a day trade, we need to quickly go check what the ATR is to even expect a monster move like that. If the stock is already bumped up $2, which is right into 116, 117, that would be a whole ATR move. Actually, that'd be a 2 ATR move, because we would be up $2-3 on this position at that moment. Does the stock have more for that intraday move? It would be a little question marky for that, right? So a grandpa stock, a boomer position, you want to be careful thinking about taking that aggressive breakout longs into 117. Maybe 117 area is where you get that fake out breakout where you can now make out with the shorts and go to the downside, right? Go downtown. Trying to be a rapper over here or something. I don't know what I'm doing. Excuse me. Forgive me, chat. But if I am wrong on that idea and the stock is showing you buying above 117, then you got some beautiful longs off of that area, especially on a swing term basis, because we could see 120, 125 coming into play eventually on swing term. So you want to watch how the stock does in 115. If we're holding 115, then we might just have a room to 116, 117. If holding 115 on good ER, could get long for move to 117. And then in a bad ER, I think we just drop right down over here, which is obviously multiple ER or sorry, multiple ATR move already. Come on, dude. Multiple ATR move, that'd be like a 5% move, expecting that the stock to break the what's it called? 52-week low and way bigger move than its ATR would be kind of unexpected. Maybe we do it on a swing term basis, but for tomorrow it'll be hard for me to see the stock getting below 107. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually ends up playing. But if it does break and we do see selling coming in, the stock is failing to stay above 107, you got a beautiful short into no man's land in the downside. No man's land. I mean, there is not no man's land. There's some levels down there, right? There's tons of levels down here, but these levels come from like 2020, right? So pretty hard to expect that on SJM. Pretty sure everyone and their mothers got their jams in their houses right now. Okay, SJM. Pat, I just said I wouldn't even put levels in my shit, and I got levels and I got notes. I love it, Prad. I love it. All right, let's talk about Pat. Pat, Friday, day one. Today, day two. We caught that day one move. We caught that day two move. Beautiful dip buy, and then right into today's high, Friday's high on this position. Now the question is, what happens on Pat over here? Do we have a day three move? Successfully holding that dip. I think the stock has room into $28 and $30. Why not? Why not? There is a big gap though. If the stock does get below $22, there's a nice little gap into $20 that we could look to trade, the gap fill trade. There's a hidden rule in the market that all gaps got to get filled eventually, but it's not like a guaranteed rule. It's just a hidden rule. I don't know who made this rule up. I've read it a bunch of times, but if that gap does want to get filled, it currently doesn't look like it wants to. The stock is trading like it wants to break out of that Friday's high, break out of that 25.50. So we're waiting to see if any dips get bought up. That 24 area especially, does 24 get bought up? Does 25.50 get taken out? If so, then we got a bigger move right into the north side of $28 on this position on Pat. Hawaiian Airline, I'm not going to bore you with that one, so we're going to move to the next one over here, which is currently coming into play because of its own catalyst that it's going to be added to the S&P 500 index on December 15th, I think is the date. So along with Uber, there's a bunch of stocks that are actually being removed from the index, and also a bunch of stocks being added to the index. Uber, what is one of the stocks in that list? I forget what other stocks were in there. I think Alaskan Air is actually coming out of that list, out of the S&P 500 basket. Trying to find the article for you guys. Give me a second, chat. Yeah, that should be it. Bro, it's a free article, man. Give me a second, chat. I'm gonna create a damn account just for you guys. No, I'm not. You know what? We're gonna do this. "10-minute mail." I'm not giving them my real email. Screw off. Oops. Chat, don't look at the password, chat. Oh. Damn it. This is why you have your screen hidden anytime you type your passwords. Yeah, no, I'm not making this garbage. Screw this. But what I was trying to show you there is what other stocks are being added and removed from the index, and I think Alaskan Air is getting removed. Alaskan Air obviously buying Hawaiian Air, so that one's probably dropping to the downside. Alaskan Air, ALK. So yeah, that one dropped big time to the downside and also being removed from the index, probably also giving it a little bit of a bigger bump to the down over here. Uber being added, so this one popped up, insane pop up right into 62, sorry, 61, $62, and then kind of failed to hold that area and just sold off that whole move today. So excited to see what kind of opportunities this stock gives us. Maybe we look for a buy it somewhere into yesterday's highs or something. You know, I was expecting we don't really go too much lower, but this is a little bit lower than I thought the stock would actually do. Now I'm kind of surprised as to what the stock actually sets up for tomorrow. Looks like we got that $62 rejection perfectly in after hours. We moved up, $61 rejected right into that new move high, and then we sold off. So yeah, I'm a little confuzzled as to what to really expect from this stock, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see. I think pre-market will tell me what to kind of do on Uber tomorrow. I think pre-market will have to kind of dictate to me what to do on Uber. But on Carvana, how did I miss this trade? That's because I didn't have an alert out. I didn't have an alert out on this break of this 3650 area. Monster break of this 3650, taking the stock right into another beautiful resistance area where we've traded the stock quite a bit at, into this $42 to $43 area. Let's see if this area comes back into play tomorrow. 42 to 43. Carvana. If we can show some rejection again in this area, I'm looking for that beautiful short. Gave you a $2 short off that rejection of that 42. Didn't even know Carvana was in play today. Saw that Carvana was in play after looking at the volume leaders and looking at the volume movers and so on. I think this was just an upgrade. If I remember correctly in the pre-market watch list, this was nothing but just an upgrade. So I was like, really? I don't think Carvana is that much in play today. But yeah, big R-vol bump. Normally 8 million shares on the daily chart, but today bringing in 22 million shares, clearing out a solid resistance area and popping up. So it might just be a little bit interesting to see what happens on the dips into 3650 and into the pops into 42 and $43 on this position, to see if we can get some shorts over there. Ulta Beauty recently had earnings report. I think it was Friday actually, along with Path AI. Had earnings, and then today, day two, kind of forgot about the stock as a day two trade. Let's go see what happened. So yeah, dropped into that earnings VWAP, held the earnings VWAP, and then made a bigger move. So that's the type of shit that you want to see. Monster opportunity. Kind of forgot about the stock, honestly. That's my fault. So now we just have to wait and see if the stock can give us a trade opportunity tomorrow. Maybe we dip buy into somewhere over here into 482 or 480. If the stock can show us some buying into 482 to 480 area, some opportunities over there to the north side, but I don't think we even see that opportunity. Maybe, but if we do dip somewhere into the earnings VWAP into 475, then I am 100% buying that. I kind of want to put this one on a higher importance, so I'm gonna mark them. So all the stocks that are kind of on a higher importance to me, I'm kind of marking them right now. GitLab for sure on a higher importance, so let's put that one there. I think NIO is a little important too, because I like how the levels are on NIO, and we can kind of just stop looking at stocks for today right here, because are we even going to trade the rest of the stocks? I think these few stocks here alone are going to make or break our day. The rest of them are just little adders and padders and little subtractors from our P&L that we could possibly be interested in, but I'm not going to stop there. That would be a little bit disservice for you guys. But my watch list for tomorrow, my main focus of interest has already been made. It's already been check marked. However, a couple other stocks over here to kind of keep as a possible focus of interest. We got Snowflake, which announced earnings not too long ago. I think it's not really day 2, day 3 play anymore. We got day 1, day 2, day 3, it's day 4 now, but it's moving into beautiful levels, even though the market was, I think QQQ sold off quite a bit, didn't it today? QQQ did sell off, yeah, down 1 full percent on the QQQ. The S&P 500 not as bad, down 0.5%. These tech stocks were hurt, but Snowflake not in the basket of being hurt. Snowflake found some buying coming in and pushed it right back into the north side. Still waiting to see what Snowflake could do on the possible break of 194, which this level has previously come into contention. So I'm gonna throw in an alert, probably into 193. That way I get notified as the stock is pushing into the higher end of these areas, and then I can kind of take a look at it and trade it when I need to. Okay, so Snowflake looking for that 194 breakout for a possible bigger move up north, and I'm not really interested in the downside move. I guess if you are looking for a short, you could possibly look for a short off the 180 to the break downside, but I don't think that trade's coming for you anytime soon unless the market's getting ready to crumble. So be patient for the downside if you are looking for a downside move on Snowflake. CRM, another stock that announced earnings, I think on the same day as Snowflake, but not really doing what Snowflake is doing. It did pop up on day 2, day 3, but right now we're just kind of trading around 250, so there might not be too much of a trade at the moment. I think CRM might just teeter around this area, find some supports into 245, 250 area, and then eventually kind of pop up. We're gonna let CRM do its thing. Not too bullish about CRM. We're sort of not too excited to trade CRM, but I think PVH stands out because PVH has been continuously making this move. Big move, drastic moves compared to its average ATR. So expanding its ATR, keeping that relative volume going, not really diminishing on the relative volume. All these things are looking great, especially after taking out that previous 52-week high and now getting elevate. So the stock obviously wants to go higher, probably into this 120, 110 area. So looking to see what happens. If the stock can give us a dip buy into 100, could get some excitement over there. As you guys can see, the earnings anchored VWAP is right into 99.50, right into $100 area. So if for any reason, wait, this was day 1. This was day 2. This is day 3. So, oh man, this was perfect. So day 1, day 2, we came down, held the earnings anchored VWAP. Day 2, we basically held. This one needs to go here. Wait, did I put it in the right spot? I did have it in the right spot. Never mind. Okay. Day 1 was Thursday. Where's Friday? Oh yeah, Friday's December. So earnings dropped down below earnings VWAP, picked back up above earnings VWAP perfectly, and held to its own VWAP, okay? And then today, we don't even test today's VWAP. We basically open above today's VWAP and just launch up to the north side. So picture perfect chapter 8 trade over here. Chapter 8 trade, day 1, day 2, day 3. Now the question is, what really happens on day 4? I'm not going to be that bullish because the book doesn't really talk anything about day 4. This is textbook. This is picture perfect. This is something that we've seen a little bit on a bunch of other stocks. Let's show you the trade write-ups over here. The trade write-up maybe for GPS. Hello, where did my write-ups go? Hey, yo. There we go. So if you look at the GPS trade, picture perfect. Day 1 earnings move, day 2 hold earnings VWAP, day 3 hold the day 2's VWAP. So kind of like that, but a little bit different. Same but different, right? Same but different. A little bit bullish on this position, obviously, because this move and the relative volume and the ATR is just continuously monstrous for this position. So I would be excited to see if on any sort of pullback, if that significant, psychologically significant level 100 can be held. It's not a real level 100. Oh, it is a real level. Okay, yeah, psychologically significant and somewhat of a technically significant level 100 can hold on any sort of a pullback. And if we're already above 105, then we can just kind of look for a long above 105 or a hold above 105 for a bigger move if the stock wants to continue going higher. CrowdStrike. This one, I like very, 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 very much. We were expecting a move into 242. We never really saw that move come into play. Right now, the stock seems to be holding right above 230. So day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, the volume's dying down. Not what PVH is doing, right? PVH volume is still significant and it's still making big candles. CrowdStrike a little bit different, but I still like it because if we can get that breakout of 240, we got a possible move into 242 and then maybe a bigger move. But then if 242 kind of traps people with the fake out breakout, then you got to be ready to dump your position and walk away from that trade. So be ready for that chance of trap. 242 could just be a trap long, so be careful if punching 240 breaks. So you got to be careful if you're just punching the 240 breaks. And for support, I like the way how 230 is holding so far on CrowdStrike. Next up, Fruity Loops, also known as Foot Locker to most people. I said it was a little boring for me. I think I made a mistake by saying that because I missed out a move over here to the north side. So far, Foot Locker looks like it wants to go right into this $32. I'm gonna be a little patient. You could trade it off that 30, but I'm gonna be waiting around $32 to see if the stock has a bigger move to close that gap into $40 or so. But a trap around 32 gives me that opportunity to short this position. So that's the only opportunity. Trap around 32, look for shorts. Hold of 32, look for longs. So that's the idea for Foot Locker over there for myself. Shopify, actually, let's just go to Foot Locker. Kind of set myself an alert just in case the stock does go up there. Bang. Next stock, Shopify. This one, we kind of have been, ignoring it. Yeah, the stock popped up ever since its earnings day. We'd also got a nice little pop-up on Shopify from its own, Black Friday, Cyber Monday catalyst. Amazon moved up pretty drastically off of that. Affirm moved up pretty drastically off of that. But then the next day, right after the Cyber Monday, I guess, a downgrade started hitting Shopify. So Shopify has been ever since kind of brick walled with the downside move in the tech basket today. Shopify wasn't really allowed to do too much, but we love seeing the fact that Shopify is still holding that 71 to 71.50 as a good support so far. And if that's the case, then we would love to see what happens on a move above 75 for Shopify. Continue to hold 71 to 71.50. We can keep looking for longs. If you don't hold that area, you can look for shorts. And if you want to be interested for a breakout long, wait to see what happens at 75. If 75 breaks out and stays above it, you can get long with a nice little stop around 75 for yourself. The next stock over here we got is Spotify, not Shopify. We just talked about Shopify, but this is Spotify. Spotify coming into the watch list over here because they are currently cutting 17% of workload or something like that. Previously also announced earnings, good earnings report, has been making a move off of that into this 185 area. Good hold of that 185 area after making that move up, and now that 17% workforce cutting catalyst bringing them into higher ranges. Obviously new 52-week higher ranges. Now the question is, how does the stock trade into these prices? We got a little bit of a resistance right into 200, 215 and so on. So you might want to wait for those prices if you want to short. I don't really think I want to be shorting 200, but if the stock does show you another failed trap around 200, 201, maybe you can think about a short there, but I'm just going to be waiting near 215 for the stock. And as for supports, I think anything from 185 to 190 is basically support in this stock, but it's a little bit of a drastically wide range. You kind of don't want to be dealing with that big of a range. So I'm just going to wait near 190, see what happens. I'm going to wait near 185, see what happens. And I'll also wait in between the range. If the stock is showing me a nice little smiley face pattern or some sort of a long holding pattern, higher lows, higher highs, getting above today's VWAP, holding it, and showing me some sort of a pattern to actually get ready to get long, then I will be ready to punch in front of 185, 186, 187, wherever it is showing me that holding pattern. But I'll be closely watching 185 to 190. Affirm. We were just talking about Affirm because of Shopify and Amazon. Affirm popping in again and again and again to the north side. So another one for Shopify over here. Big move. Shopify looks like it wants to just go straight into that $42, $41 price point. We are currently what, at 38? I think Affirm is getting ready for some sort of a short trade, but you didn't want to be doing that before. Where does this stupid ass green line come from? Get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. Okay. What's with all these lines here, Pride? What kind of drugs are you smoking, dude? This was the old Prad throwing these lines, chat. Okay? Forgive me. Jesus, Prad. What are these lines? What are these lines, brother? Okay. Got rid of half the garbage ass lines that I got over there. Let's kind of re-chart Affirm for ourselves. That's my support. We're not even here, but I'm just gonna put that line there. Okay. We've kind of held this area recently. So I'm gonna put that one there. And now we're popping into this, which is right here. That really doesn't mean much to me because I think we could just wait for 41, 42 to come into play for that short thesis, or 40/41 to come into play for that short thesis. So I don't really want to be messing with 38, 39 for a long, nor do I want to be shorting 38, 39 because the stock could just go to 40, 41. So I'm just going to be waiting patiently for the stock to pop up a little bit higher. If I see rejection in this area, beautiful short. If I see buying in this area, we got a bigger move up north side long. So that bigger move north side long takes the stock on a swing term scale into $50 basically. But I'm expecting as an intraday trade tomorrow, we possibly see some shorts into $40, $41 on Affirm. This one gets colored. Nice little marker for ourselves because I think this one's important tomorrow going into these areas for myself on AFRM. Affirm. Obviously, I don't want to be that guy who gets destroyed on Affirm. Don't want to be the short bear who's obviously a great trader, but anything can happen. Anything is possible in this game, ladies and gentlemen, in this beautiful game we love. Okay, the next stock, net. We actually traded net on the day one move, I think, of this break of 76, and then day two, I think we also tried to trade it, or maybe we thought about trading it and we didn't really make an execution. Now we're waiting to see what happens on the move into 81, and we're finally getting that move into 81 on net. So Cloudflare net, waiting to see if 81 can show buying above it or some rejections of it. Rejections of 81, move right back to 76, holding of 81, a bigger move to the north side of this position. So those are the only two price points I'm interested in on net, and also since it is moving into that interesting area, I'm gonna have to mark it as a different color so I can be ready to keep my eyes out on it. Looks like Square has to be in that same basket, struggling with this high at the moment, but the second we clear that high near $65, what do you think the stock is doing? Going right into $67.50. right? So watching that $65 area to see what happens. Looks like we have some sort of a support right into the $62 for this position. So we'll just watch to see if 62 can get respected one more time as a dip buy. But if 62 don't get respected, then we got a little bit more downside move, probably into 57.50 or so, right into these range highs and this range lows. Square. Kind of important too tomorrow, I think. We got a lot of important stocks tomorrow. Oh man, I already know this one's going to be important also, because Palantir dropping to a nice little $18 price point today, breaking that $19 support wall that we've been holding off on quite some time. That $19 was not breaking for multiple weeks, but the weakness on the markets today, sadly breaking down the stock below 18, below 19, below 18.80, below $19, now taking it right back into that $18 support. So Palantir obviously waiting to see if 18 can show support. If 18 doesn't show support, I think Palantir is kind of doomsday situation. It could go right back into 17, 16, 15, 14 areas. That would be scary, obviously, being a Palantir investor. I don't want to see that. So I want 18 to be respected. I want 18 to be held and also give us some beautiful long opportunities. You know, if you're going long off of 18, you're probably risking 5 cents at best, taking tons of shares, and your reward is a move into 18.50, into $19. So 50-cent reward, 100-cent reward on a 5-cent risk. You do the freaking math on that risk to reward. You're not going to find trades like that. So you have to keep an eye out on Palantir tomorrow near that $18, or you're going to be making a goddamn mistake. Very, very big mistake. Coinbase, boys and girls. I know we got Momo in the house. Boys and girls. Bitcoin 42,000. A little bit of a wall on 42,000 right now on Bitcoin, but I'm not worried about it because we are seeing an insane amount of buying action come in. A lot of predictions now coming in at $80,000 per coin, 80,000 USD that is per coin by the end of 2025 or something. I also know that Kathy Wood said like 100,000 by the end of 2025 or something crazy like that. So we are excited to see those numbers come into play. Obviously, we'll wait and see when those opportunities show up, but it's not anytime soon. Not at the end of this year. At least by the end of this year, I'm most likely going to turn profitable on my Bitcoin investment. I'm only down like 5% right now. What a big turnaround on my Bitcoin investment. But as for a day trade, you're just tracking those moves. You're just tracking Bitcoin. You're tracking what Coinbase is doing. Coinbase looks like it's got a nice move into this 156, 160 areas, at which point you can look for some sort of a short over there or a breakout long if you're interested in, if you're bullish on that whole basket of trades. Same thing applies to Mara, Riot. Mara and Riot kind of look cleaner. Mara holding above 15 gives you a beautiful trade, and doesn't hold above 15 gives you a beautiful trade also. Riot, a little bit less shares traded on Riot compared to Mara. That's why I don't really look at Riot as much, but Riot looks a little bit like Mara too. So it's got those clean levels. You can look to see if the stock is trading cleanly around said levels, or if it's getting rejected around said levels, and that gives you a trade thesis to kind of formulate. So keep an eye out for the cryptocurrency basket, Coinbase, Mara, Riot without a fail. Last but not least, we got the big tech basket, and for that I'll just talk about the QQQ for you guys. QQQ currently getting ready to get below this gap up low. So we kind of got below that gap up low today. Right over here, as you guys can see, we got below that gap up low, but then we got immediately bought right back up. The candle, let me just turn off all these indicators. The candle body for today is actually, I think, called a hammer candle, if I remember correctly. So a hammer candle basically kind of indicating a little bit of a reversal. A pattern candlestick chart occurs when a security trades significantly lower than its opening, but rallies within the period price near the opening price, blah, 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 blah. I just read that all messed up for you guys, but you guys get the idea. So nice little hammer candle after testing this range low on the overall QQQ basket, right around $383. So gave you an opportunity to buy up the dips. Whoever sold the QQQ basket today, they're probably very, very scared because there's a big buyer here who said We're back at 383. Gobble, 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 gobble. Let me eat up all those shares, buy up every single thing that's liquidity is being offered. And I can't wait to see the stock market, because stonks only go up. I can't wait to see the stock market at all-time highs. So they gobbled it up. Now the question is tomorrow, does the seller who's been a little prominent for the QQQ basket going into December, do they show up again, and do they show up at a lower price, or are they still waiting at those higher prices? If they're still waiting at those higher prices, that's not as bearish. You want to see those bears being aggressive and kind of going down if they think the market's going down, right? But if that's not the case, then they're still waiting at the higher prices. That means, you know, buyers are probably stepping up and they're getting ready to punch it. So kind of bullish candle, a little bit of a nice hammer candle on the test of this low. This gives me an idea that the markets are getting ready to kind of go back higher tomorrow. And if that's the case, you got a lot of levels across the board on Apple, on Microsoft, on Google, on Amazon that are very interesting. So Apple, if Apple can reclaim 190 on a nice little green move on the market tomorrow, that is your green trigger. Sorry, that is your long trigger on Apple. 190, hold 190, get above it, trade long, have fun. Microsoft not really at 380 at the moment. We got a nice little gap down on Microsoft compared to what Apple has been doing, but Microsoft has a beautiful support right now around 367. So you can see if 367 holds up for a possible trade for yourself in case we do gap or in case we do start off the day lower on Microsoft. But I think we gap up tomorrow. That's just my expectations based on that hammer candle. But don't be just trading off of a pure candlestick or one candlestick or anything, right? Kind of, we need to understand the bigger picture of the market. And since I just said the bigger picture, why don't we just go over here, kind of just read. This is from the November 17th. This is a little old bigger picture, so this one doesn't really matter for us that much. In-depth analysis. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at this. Correlation and causation. Stocks are Stocks are headed for a lower open to kick off the week, with large cap tech leading the way on the downside. Friday gave us more of nice Jerome than Mean Jay as Powell danced around the notion of declaring victory over inflation. He gave some hints about needing to not say that they were done with hikes, but the big point was made when he said the Fed viewed current rates as well as restrictive territories that risks were. Oh, thank God. That risks were now fully balanced. Fully balanced is Fed code for we are done hiking. Stocks took off higher. Stocks took off higher as a result. It is unfortunate that I did not stick with the last piece of my NQ short because the mega caps were looking very tired again this morning. Blah, 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 blah. 15,750 on the NASDAQ futures area is what this guy is basically looking at. Kind of correlates with, I guess, that area that we were looking at over here on the QQQ basket right into 383. So as long as 383 holds on the QQQ, I think the market isn't really screaming doomsday just yet, and we still got a lot of room to the upside. We got a nice range on the QQQ, so we can just keep trading that and keep looking for opportunities. But you guys know how I keep hammering the point of only trading stocks that are in play. And in my opinion, all the stocks that I have colored in this little bit of an orange tint are the ones that are in play and the ones that you need to keep your eyes out for tomorrow, because these will be the movers, the shakers, the bakers, the money makers, and the widow makers. So look out for all these trades. Hopefully you guys are able to execute and make some profitable trades and money on at the end of the day on for yourselves. Real quick, let's take a look at the economic calendar tomorrow. But before we do that, I'm gonna hit you with a quick advertisement. This stream has been brought to you by Hey, you there. Yeah, you with the Manscaped shirt. Are you tired of decoding the stock market? Are you looking like this guy, always lost after every single day? Well, look no further. Today we got a brand new offer for you from TraderSync. This software will help you identify exactly where you're losing, where you're winning, and how to maximize your profits.
use code PRAD15 at the checkout. If you start journaling your trades, you will start trading better and you will start looking like this guy. So what are you waiting for? Go on out there, go get yourself a TraderSync discount, use code PRAD15, and they also have a Black Friday sale going on with 65% off. Don't be late.
All right, welcome back. Yeah, that's a quick little advertisement on my little sponsor. Thank you to TraderSync, Trade Ideas, and Benzinga for helping me keep the stream alive and allowing me to do everything that I do every single day. Those are the 3 tools that I use, and they help me make that money, baby. So if you want to make that money, all the links are down below, along with my sponsor codes that give you discounts. So go check that links right down below, ladies and gentlemen. Click, 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 clickety, click. Oh, didn't mean to do that again for you. Let's turn that one off and show you what the economic calendar looks like tomorrow. We do have the PMI, the S&P 500 global PMI at 9:45. We also have the ISM non-factoring PMI coming out at 10 o'clock. So basically 9:45, 10 o'clock, a little bit of important. We also have JOLTS opening jobs number coming out at 10 o'clock. I have seen that move the market once before. So it looks like we could get a little bit of a nice move on the market. Our long thesis, that hammer candle that we saw on the market, could get destroyed with these numbers coming out, or could get helped by these numbers coming out. So around 10 o'clock, be a little careful, position yourself accordingly at those times. Let's go to the IPO calendar, see if anything fun is showing up on the IPO calendar, and the answer is no at the moment. So I think that basically wraps, ladies and gentlemen, the end of our stream. Let's quickly show you again what all stocks are coming out with earnings tomorrow. Pre-market, NIO, AutoZone, SJM, those are the ones that I'm going to be interested in. Tomorrow after hours, we got MongoDB, Sentinel One. I think the stock was it actually gave me a good trade, but it also was getting bought out or something. So that one's a little bit careful for that one. Dave & Buster's, Toll Brothers, Asana, Box, I think that's Dropbox, if I remember correctly. So a bunch of stocks over here coming out with earnings tomorrow after hours. So make sure you come in tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll talk about all of these ones and a bunch of stocks from this list over here too. Probably Campbell Soup if you're interested in that. Or Thor. I think Thor is Thor what I think what it is. Isn't that the RV company? Isn't Thor the RV company, chat? What's their ticker? THO? Consumer durables? Ah, it is the RV company. Ah, I'm so smart, dude. So yeah, this company also gives you pretty good trades. As you guys can see, I have some levels mapped out previously. Some of these levels are coming into play as the stock is going into its earnings coming out. Sadly, doesn't do a lot of volume, but this level is pretty interesting if you ask me. The fact that we're popping into 105 right before its earnings this week, pretty interesting. So we'll keep this one out on the watch list, not for tomorrow but coming up soon. So make sure you come back once again every single day, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. We are here live talking about all the trades we did on the day, all the trades that we could do on the next day, and kind of wrap a nice little bow and prep session. So show up for that. All the links once again for my sponsors right down below in the description, along with my social media links. So if you have not clicked on them yet, go check them out. And also please do remember to hit that like and subscribe. I think we got about like 15 or 20% of you who are not subscribed. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. Hit that like button too. That one's free. And ring the notification bell if you want to get notified anytime I go live. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen. 8 o'clock tomorrow. Good night. Peace. Ciao.